South Africa awoke this morning to political shock waves after EFF leader Julius Malema was arrested in a dramatic and highly clandestine pre-dawn operation. But although the arrest itself left the country shocked, the real tempest exists in the revelations as to who purportedly gave the order, by various credible sources including diplomatic sources, senior intelligence experts and top-level political operatives. The move to arrest Malema was not initiated through sole reliance on domestic legal proceedings. Rather, it was apparently expedited in response to direct pressure from the United Kingdom after what has been reported as a late-night diplomatic push by British diplomats insisting that urgent action be taken against the incendiary opposition leader. The arrest, made at approximately 3 a.m., was carried out with near-military precision. Dozens of South African elite law enforcers, heavily armed, stormed the high-end Hyde Park home of Malema. Streets were cordoned off, observation drones circled above, and communication signals within the area had been reportedly jammed prior to the operation beginning. In a matter of minutes, Malema was arrested without resistance from the public. EFF sources later alleged that there were concurrent arrests of other top party leaders in major cities such as Pretoria, Bloemfontein, and Cape Town, implying that the operation was part of a bigger coordinated sweep planned in complete secrecy. The backlash has been quick and dramatic, sending South Africa into one of the most severe political crises since the beginning of the post-apartheid period. African National Congress ANC government officials have justified the arrest, alleging that Malema and other EFF leaders are under investigation for an array of offences ranging from incitement of violence, corruption, and discrediting the state institutions. However, political commentators and critics claim that the timing and reasons for the arrest are quite questionable and quite likely driven by foreign geopolitical rather than national legal considerations. This isn't about applying the law. This is about concentrating power, blasted one senior constitutional analyst in a rancorous live TV discussion. If it emerges the UK government applied diplomatic pressure on President Ramaphosa to arrest a sitting opposition politician, then we are no longer discussing justice. We are discussing neo-colonial interference. South Africa is not a vassal state. These are feelings that are becoming more prevalent, especially among South Africans who already see President Sir Ramaphosa as too obsequious to foreign interests. Once touted as a reformer who vowed to decontaminate state institutions and regain democratic integrity, Ramaphosa is currently coming in for scathing criticism for being too timid, too slow, and too aligned with Western powers, the United Kingdom and the United States in particular. Accusations that he only moves when provoked by outside forces are not new, but this event has lent those allegations a new and possibly disastrous level of plausibility. The EFF has reacted in typical outrage. Addressing reporters outside the Hill Magistrates Court, party spokesperson condemned the arrest as a coup in all but name, accusing foreign governments of masterminding it with the complicit South African president as their tool. The British Empire might have changed its flag, but its colonial stranglehold continues, Tambo declared. They are afraid of Julius Malema because he unmasks the economic parasitism still present in this nation's post-apartheid reality. He poses not just a threat to ANC's corrupting elite, but to the foreign capital interests. That is why they issued the order. That is why Cyril complied. He is not a leader. He is a manager who has been installed by the West. Timber went on further saying the arrest was not merely silencing Malema but was aimed at defining the political landscape before the 2026 general election. Make no mistake, this is about fear. They are afraid of change. They are afraid of a movement that cannot be bought. They are afraid of 2026. Within the ANC itself, the arrest has sparked deep internal fissures that had been simmering in the background for the last 2 years. Party members on the influential National Executive Committee (NEC) have come out in support of Ramaphosa, defending the arrests as needed to preserve national stability and law and order. Others within the party, especially those across the ANC's more radical and populist camps, are raising serious objections. We've always suspected that President Ramaphosa holds back for clearance from London or Washington before taking courageous decisions, declared an NEC member in confidentiality. This latest revelation doesn't only validate our apprehensions. It broadcasts them in the most egregious manner. We struggle for liberation so that we could be in charge of ourselves, not so that the wild colonial powers can control us by remote control. Reports indicate that an emergency meeting of the ANC leadership may take place in the next few days to deal with the political consequences. Grassroots discontent is said to be growing, with provincial leaders in Limpopo, Eastern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal calling for clarity over whether or not the president was acting on his own or under foreign direction. Alliance partners like COSATU and the South African Communist Party, SACP, are also reported to feel more and more uneasy with what some would refer to as the externalization of national leadership. The affair has not passed unnoticed outside the country in the United Kingdom. FCDO officials have neither confirmed nor refuted any involvement. Nevertheless, according to a source within the diplomatic community who spoke to The Guardian on condition of strict anonymity, we have a keen interest in maintaining democratic stability in significant African partner countries. South Africa is a strategic partner. We are committed to the rule of law, institutional governance, and regional stability. However, such general assertions are not likely to soothe mounting public indignation. Legal scholars, human rights groups, and civil society organizations have already urged a parliamentary inquiry into the arrest. Demonstrators have streamed outside foreign embassies and courthouses, shouting slogans like "A no to colonial puppets" and "A hands off our democracy." In the meantime, Julius Malema is behind bars, with his lawyers working up an emergency application to contest the constitutional validity of the arrest. The matter will be pushed rapidly through the courts because of the huge political significance surrounding it. And experts think it might turn out to be one of the most important legal battles in the history of South African democracy. As South Africa sits precariously on the brink of what some worry might turn into an all-out constitutional crisis, the country is wrestling with disturbing questions. Has its democracy been compromised to foreign intervention? Is the government governing in the interest of the nation or simply taking orders from overseas? And perhaps most importantly, how will this moment change the political scene before the pivotal 2026 elections? One thing is clear: what was started as a police action has now erupted into a national reckoning, one that may decide not just the fate of Julius Malema, but the very soul of South Africa's post-apartheid democracy.